Hello, everybody. I am so sorry that we are a little bit late. It is totally my fault. I had thought we had a whole 45 minutes left before the stream started. I got totally confused on my end, but I am excited to see everybody. We have quite a few people here. And we also have a guest. I don't get to stream very often, which is probably why I'm so discombobulated. But Brooke, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. So I'm Brooke. I have a channel, Brook Writes. I make writing vlogs and some reading vlogs, and yeah, I kind of just do my thing and document my journey. So if you want to go check my channel out, feel free.
Yes, please do. We like Brooke. So let's see these comments that we missed, and by we I mean totally me. We have Lizzie here. She says hi. Oh, why is it smaller?
There's like settings in one of the tabs on the side.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Oh, I'm like putting my hands over the. It doesn't actually ask. I click on them and it's like, here's this. Oh, there we go. That one goes across the whole screen. Okay. Lizzie hates writing endings. I can kind of feel that. I just had like a whole book crisis and I feel like I'm never going to get to the end of my book. I'm like starting from the beginning again. Lauren is here. It is nice to see you. Brooke jumped in and talked to you guys while I was absolutely spacing. She texted me and she was like, do you need a reminder that we're supposed to be online? Allie is here. Allie's such a sweetheart. Me and her usually do our live sprints together, so everyone go check out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else is happening. Lizzie's love interest is a jerk now. It's like one of those, I am a huge advocate, it's so weird, of enemies to lovers. So I love that. I'm like,
I love it.
Okay. So I feel like you guys are way ahead of me in these comments. We live tough writer. Love writers. I like that. We definitely do. Look at my, I can't even type right. Whatever. It's great. Okay. Does anyone have any like comments about how much they want to sprint or what type of sprints they want to do or what you guys are working on specifically while we're getting situated? And again, by we, I mean. How are you going with your 5K, Brooke?
I just made it to like 2,500.
Nice. That's a good milestone.
Oh, it's rough. I don't even know what happened. Like I went to the bank this afternoon and I got back and I was just kind of like sitting around. We were watching some TV and then it was like 5 o'clock and I was like, what?
I am like such a night person that I feel like I didn't even think that I would get much done before now to begin with.
That's fair. I'm the complete opposite. Like this was like literally like I could not have chosen a worse day to do a 5K. Like I slept in, I had like meetings and stuff, and like for some reason I was like, oh, it like because when we picked this day, I don't think I had like any of this scheduled, and then it just kind of happened, and I was like, why did I do this to myself?
We could always have moved it. I'm sure they wouldn't have mind.
No, I think it's fine. I'm gonna get there. You know, it's a good challenge. It's a good challenge.
I like it. Diane is here. And Amanda is here. Hello, hello. Allie is working on revisions. I got a little sneak peek of her book, and I think it's wonderful. I think everyone should go.
That's so exciting. I love seeing stuff before it's published. I just like it's a special kind of feeling.
I felt like I was special. It was. I don't know how else to describe it. I was very excited. Yeah, as I said, there are different types of sprints, and it's like sort of a yes/no. Like we can do competitive sprints where we race, or we can do like force, like grow a tree kind of sprints. But they're all kind of just how long do you want to write words in different situations. A couple people said 17. I actually don't know if this will let me share a screen. For some reason, I don't know if anyone has experience with StreamYard on mobile, but it never lets me share on my iPad. Like, there's a button for it, but whenever I click it, it does not do anything. It kind of just stays the way it is. So I'm going to be putting a banner because I can't do a countdown. I'll be putting a banner across the bottom with the end time. So I'll have the exact seconds, and you guys can start the exact seconds on your timers, but I can't put that in the banner because my mind will explode if I have to do that math.
Yeah, they're probably still like working out the kinks, I guess, with the mobile version if it like just came out.
Yeah, I was really excited that it came out, but it definitely still has its kink.
For sure.
So I'm getting my thing started for 17 minutes. Is that good with you, Brooke?
Oh yeah, totally fine.
And
my vlog is gonna be so ridiculous. I've changed outfits like 4 times today.
You're
I do that when I'm home a lot. I don't know why. It's just a thing.
I should. I'm so lazy when it comes to that. I like vlog in the same sweater for like 2 days, and I'm like, well, I changed the clothes underneath it, so like no one will notice that my sweater is the same. Probably super notice.
Like whenever we leave the house, like we always have to like change when we come back because like Corona and stuff. So that's like definitely one reason. But also, you know, just have access to my closet all day. So I'm like, why not?
It's inspiring me to get a little bit more comfortable, maybe. I'm like hot all of a sudden. I was freezing all day, and I was telling you earlier how I was freezing.
Yeah, I get like that on streams. When I'm hosting a stream, I get super nervous, so then I get all like hot and sweaty.
Yeah, I like panicked. Maybe that's what it is. I was like,
it might be.
And I panicked. Okay, so I am starting this 17-minute sprint. It's gonna end at 37. In the meantime, I'm gonna play with this StreamYard a little bit and see if I can get it up and working the way I want it to be for sharing things, but I wouldn't get my hopes up for that. But happy writing for 17 minutes, guys. All right, my timer just went off for the writing sprints. It played beautiful little music, so I don't know if any of you guys were actually able to hear it. It was too gentle. Maybe I should change it for next time. But now that I am a little bit more oriented, I want to sort of like start over, which is like cheating, but we're going to start over. Welcome if you're here sprinting. I am really excited that you're here. So me and Brooke are doing a collaborative 10K day. So we're both splitting the burden and doing 5,000 words. And that's what we were talking about a little bit at the beginning. We're both falling a little behind, but we're killing it. Like, we're going to stay positive. It's happening. And I'm really excited that you guys are here. I don't do live streams very often, and I want to start doing them more. So if you guys have times that you particularly want to do live streams, leave them in the comments, not necessarily the chat box, but the comments, so I can see them all in one space so that I can have live streams whenever it is the best for you guys. And Brooke, how did you do in our last sprint?
Oh, not well. I think I got 199. You know, when you like write and you're like, I must have gotten like 500 words by now. And then you look and it's like 50.
One of my favorite pictures is like, how many words did I write? 1 million? 2 million? And it's like word processor, 240.
Legit though, like that's me right now. How about you?
Much better. I got about 236, and I'm gonna blame it on technical issues, but if I'm being honest, I just totally was not focused. But I'm a better mindset now that everything is working. I tried to fix the comment bar thing, and whenever I tapped on the comments, it prompted me to like delete people and ban people, so I'm not even gonna mess with that. But the writing could be better. I think the next sprint is gonna be high quality.
Oh my gosh, okay, I'm so glad you asked. Because I'm writing the like first date scene, and I'm so excited. It's so amazing. I love it. Like, not that the writing is amazing, but
yeah, one of the most like suspenseful.
I just love writing first date scenes. Like it's just so much potential, you know?
Yeah, I think even if you're not writing in like the romance category, there's a lot of in those like first connections.
Yes. So they're going for sushi, which is
I went for sushi with somebody a really long time ago, and I don't eat raw fish, but I didn't want to tell them that. I swear, I threw up in the bathroom in the middle of the whole event. And I like couldn't hold it down, and it was really funny because then 2 years later I moved to a country where I ate primarily raw fish. But it was a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Great idea, I guess.
I don't do the raw fish sushi. Like I'll do like smoked salmon or like some of like the veggie rolls and stuff. I've done it. I did it once. We went to Hawaii and like I was like, well, I can't go to Hawaii and like not have, you know, so but
yeah, so they placed us with a Japanese host family, and I was like, I'm gonna eat whatever they put in front of me, no matter what. I'm not gonna be rude. I'm gonna eat it, and I'm not gonna like make any faces. Oh, like 3 months in, she was like, the raw fish is more expensive, so if you don't want to eat it, that just means I can eat more of it, so you don't have to eat it. It was so great. I love it.
I guess it's more expensive because it has to be like it probably has to be processed a lot more carefully, right?
Yeah, it has to be like kept at certain temperatures, and you get it fresh. And my host dad was actually a professional chef. I lucked out on it. So I feel like he just had expensive taste.
That's awesome.
Great. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. The comments a little bit just to catch up with you guys. Allie's working on revisions, she said. I know this is like before we started the last one a little bit. Lizzie is almost at I took the wrong one. She's almost at 75.
Oh my gosh.
Rating. And then that was just Diane agreeing with the 1717. I hope your vlog is going well. I feel like vlogs are not my strong suit, but I've had a lot of practice lately. But yeah, 75,000, like that's outrageous, and I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Jumping back and forth. Allie is talking about getting her book in shape for Pitch Wars. I think it's pretty solid. She writes like slightly futuristic Allie, if you want to give like a better, I don't want to describe your book in a way that you don't want it to be described. So if you feel like you want to send a little blurb, I will put it on the screen.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Diane loves your outfits.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's fancy. One day I'll stop wearing gremlin clothes whenever I live stream, and it won't be today, but one day I'll put
I have sweatpants on right now, so I mean.
Lizzie ate too many cheese curds, which I feel in my soul. Like, I haven't had cheese curds in forever, and I feel like if I had some right now, I would also eat too many of them.
Same. I love cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, but I love cheese.
I'm like not lactose intolerant, but my body doesn't process it since I've been home because they don't use the same kind of milk in their dairy.
Oh yeah.
So sad for me. Like, I love cheese.
I know.
So these names, I don't want to pronounce them wrong, but it is.
I think it's Isla and Delilah.
Okay.
Because that would sound similar.
Yeah. I like Isla.
Me too. Whenever I hear Delilah, I think of like Hey Delilah, that song.
In your head. Is there like a conflict? Like, why are they not allowed to sound similar, or is that like a difference thing?
I've heard that like you shouldn't do that because it can be confusing for readers. I don't know. That's like what I heard, anyways.
Yeah, I think if they're main characters, I would definitely agree. I feel like into the audiobook, maybe I'd get a little bit confused, but they're so drastically different that I don't know if they were, I guess, like far enough apart in the story. I don't think I would have a problem. But they do sound a little bit similar. Allie loves that we're positive. The panic has settled and now we're positive. 426 and she's carrying us all. She's the only one of you guys who posted your word count.
I wish
you guys are doing.
I got 426.
Yeah, I also wish I got 426. I'm like at this point in my life where I'm very torn between projects, and I think it's just this little writing slump that I was in. So our last writing sprint this morning, we were talking about how inspiring first drafts were, and I was really just stuck in my story. And I don't know, like, tell me if you guys have ever had this problem in your books, but I knew that I was going to scrap a good portion of the beginning. So I told myself, like, I'll just pick up at a certain part and start writing and then go back and, like, finish it. And I could not get in the mindset of what I wanted to be happening. And I felt like I couldn't connect to the part of the story that, like, I was assuming I already told because I had skipped a chunk. So I changed one character's total point of view, really. I changed her motivations and her desires, and that scraps 80% of what I had written easily. Yeah, I know. Like, that's such a big percentage. So if I had, like, main character A and then, like, main character B, it was definitely, like, 2/3 main character A. And then the B point of view was really just for comparison to, like, offset what was happening.
Okay.
So I'm scrapping her whole point of view, and her point of view affects his point of view. I just started over. Basically, what happened, I had a meltdown. I drank too much coffee. I started over, and then I complained about starting over for an hour before I actually committed to it. And I think overall I have 1,400 words of a new first draft.
Oh, that's rough.
I feel like I took 10 steps back.
Well, I mean, it's all gonna work out though, right? Like, it's all for the better.
This is my idea. Like, I don't want to write 5,000 words today and then be stressed out and be like, I'm just going to delete the whole 5,000 words.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get ready for NaNoWriMo and then end up, like, deleting half of what I was writing anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like my first 2,000 words today weren't good, Brooke. I feel like they weren't good.
I'm sorry. I don't think that's true, though.
It's definitely true. But I appreciate your support. But my words, it's way better. Like, I started on a different opening scene. It has a different vibe. I feel like it's character well.
Well, you sound like you like it more now, which is important.
I do. I like my whole 1,400 words. I just advise people from doing that whenever people ask me for advice, because I always tell them, like, just finish the first draft and you can.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit hypocritical, but if I've ever given you that advice, no, it came from the best place in my mind at the time. Okay, so we got more comments. Allie said her book is basically the Odyssey and Pride and Prejudice, but in a distant future on a different planet where the remnant of humanity is trapped, yet it has a steampunk vibe. That's what I call it earlier, steampunk, but I didn't know if that's how you were classifying it. I was a big fan. I like her main character.
Amazing.
She says she needs to work on her pitch, but that was pretty enticing, so I think you're doing great. Oh, Lizzie was saying people might confuse the characters and their side characters. I can see that. If they're both side characters, then maybe that would be possible. 4 words away from 75,000. Oh, wait, no, now she's at 75,000. I was going to say, how did you stop 4 words away? Like, the willpower. No offense, but you guys could be waiting on me, and my timer could be going off, and I'd be like, no, I'm 4 words away. I'm 4 words away.
Same.
I'm just looking at my empty document, being a little bit sad. So how do you think your first date scene is going to turn out, or is that like a spoiler? Do you think it's going to turn out well, or is it going to be like a train wreck?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a spoiler. I think it is going to turn out well. The kind of like the whole deal here is like our main character she doesn't think that he's good for her. She doesn't think that they're going to like mesh well. And then like this is her kind of like realizing like, oh, you know, like we actually do have a lot of stuff in common, and like he's a really nice dude and whatever. So yes, it is going to turn out well.
I like that. Is it going to turn out, this is another like weird tricky question because I don't know how far you are in your manuscript, but is it going to turn out well and then stay well, or is it going to be like turn out well and like an oops, I made the bad decision?
Like there's definitely gonna be a point where it is not so well. It's gonna be a little bit of a roller coaster.
As it should be. All book good.
But like, I mean, not in like a ooh, we're gonna like break up and get back together 1,000 times, like unhealthily thing.
I don't that.
No. That annoys me because people do that all the time in real life. It's like, oh, we've been like dating on and off for like 4 years. And I'm like, you've been what?
Yeah. Especially under the nature that some people separate and then get back together. Like if you've doubted it that many times, then just let it go. Like
I know.
Your life all the time.
I know. It's like I feel like that's a sign that it's like not meant to be. Like, I mean, I don't want to like judge people, but like just generally that's my feeling.
Yeah. I don't judge people, but I want everyone to be in a situation where they're living their best lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it might be happening, you know?
Yeah.
Even my fictional book people that I am promoting their well-being. I don't know if I was supposed to take this comment off the screen, but I'm just continuously celebrating how well Lizzie's doing because I love that.
That's great. We love it.
So Allie said they might seem confusing, but since they'll be reading them instead of listening to them, it should be fine. I kind of agree, but I also am really picky with names, and I like my names to sound very different, so I would totally.
Me too.
That was just a preference. She said it wouldn't confuse her. Lizzie agrees.
Well, I think when you're reading them too, unless you like say them out loud, I don't even think I realized that they rhymed. Like when I read them, I literally read it as Isla until I like thought about it. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Sometimes with names, I know that it could be pronounced a couple different ways, and my mind, like I just see the word and I don't say it in my head like you said.
Same.
I just see it and I register it and then I move on, and it's great. So Caitlin says all relationships are roller coasters of emotions. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Lizzie says you literally just described my protagonist's parents' relationship. First dating, engaged, broke up. Wow.
That's rough.
But the real question is how does that affect your protagonist?
Yeah, I would assume negatively.
Yeah, that's like part of the story then. The epilogue. Oh, I'm on YouTube and StreamYard, and StreamYard's a little bit slow, but the
StreamYard, yeah. Oh goodness.
That sounds intense. Okay, well, does anyone have any thoughts of what they want to do for their next sprint? Now I feel like I'm in a way more focused mindset that I can crank.
Same. I like. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say maybe if nobody has anything, if you had a time that you wanted to rate for.
I'd be okay with like 25 or something, but I mean, if people want to suggest, then totally go ahead. I'm such like a basic, like I'm like 25.
I was actually gonna say 25 is kind of my default, and I don't know if it's the Pomodoro sprints, but it's like close to the max of whenever I start getting really distracted. So I think it's just
I might have to go like make some hot chocolate or something. I feel like I like shouldn't have more coffee, but I need something.
I drank a third coffee today, and it didn't even help me at all. And then I put out, and I realized when I was writing out there, whenever I got really distracted, I was sitting in the dark, hovering over my laptop. It didn't help at all.
Yeah, I know. I've had 2 already. I had like a Starbucks this morning on our stream, and then I had another one like this afternoon. And yeah, it just doesn't really do anything, you know?
That seems like a reasonable amount of coffee, though.
Well, see, I used to only drink 1 a day when I was like still going to work, but I'm working from home now because of the situation, and and so ever since I've been at home, I drink more because it's so accessible. It's like my Keurig's right there.
It's so easy. I have that problem like in reverse because whenever I go to work, they give us free drinks throughout our whole shift every time that we in and when we go on break and when we leave. So I drink an obscene amount of coffee, and I drink things like nitro, which are extra caffeinated, and they have the gas in them to get to your blood quicker. And I feel like the Keurig coffee, it's good and I enjoy it. I just feel like it doesn't give me any energy anymore. I'm like immune. I've grown immune to regular coffee.
Yeah, I do like I do like fresh ground beans in it, so it like I don't love the pods. They don't taste as good. So I like started. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying they don't. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, like it almost is like sometimes it can come out like tasting like burnt almost, which I think is obviously partially due to the fact that like Keurig water is probably too hot, but
oh, there is super nerd random thing. There are 4 qualities to good coffee or tea, and it is temperature, freshness of your tea leaves or your coffee bean, the correct grind size, and your proportion. And we have to. I'm a trainer at work, so I have to like memorize this and tell other people this. But there's actually a way to tell if your coffee is fresh if it has like brown bubbles around the edge. You can tell that freshly ground without like having to do anything else. So if you make Keurig coffee, you'll notice that if it has any bubbles, they're like white, and that means it's not ground. And if it doesn't have any bubbles, that means like the proportion was off. There's like a whole system of diagnosing what happened to your coffee while you were making it.
Wow.
Pretty intense.
That's super interesting. I love learning about coffee. I really wish that I would have worked at Starbucks when I was in uni.
Oh, it's so much fun. They have like a lot of opportunity for growth too. So for people who like want to have a part-time job when they're you can like move up and do manager things.
I've heard that, yeah.
There's also a lot of perks, but they used to this master's program where you would take a test, and if you passed all this coffee knowledge test, you would get a black apron. And I was trying to study for that, and then they stopped offering it.
Aww, that's so sad. I love that.
I'm gonna try to. If anyone has black aprons, I'm looking for one on the black market. I'm gonna buy one. Just so I feel like I have, because now I don't have to have anything that backs up how I got it because they don't offer the program anymore.
Yeah.
I want one.
Because you guys have green aprons, is that right? Traditionally? Okay.
Yeah, green aprons, and then there are different levels. Like if you win the barista championships, you get a brown apron with your name engraved on it.
Oh my goodness.
There's like the black aprons, and then there's a bunch of other competitions, and then we have red aprons and Christmas.
I was watching one of those like barista like competitions the other day. I had no idea that was a thing, and I like came across it online.
It got canceled this year. I was competing against a couple of my trainees for fun.
Oh my gosh.
You should do it. It'll be some like healthy competition.
Yeah.
Got really ready. It was supposed to be April 1st, and it got canceled before it was supposed to happen.
Well, hopefully you can do it again.
There's always next year.
Yeah.
Allie said, my sister's a trainer at her work, and she teaches classes about espresso and perfecting the art of coffee making. She said, yeah, there's like for espresso particularly, like the coffee, you make like a puck out of the coffee beans.
Yeah.
Espresso. It takes 25 cherry, like coffee cherry plants to make one puck. It's about 7 grams of ground espresso, and you're supposed to compress it with a force of 14 kilograms. Like there's like a whole exact specific science, but it's pretty intense and it's a little bit interesting.
That is, I'm super in on that. That's amazing.
I don't know why I even know that. Like I'm not even the biggest coffee drinker, but I've gathered. I am doing the math on what this next sprint is going to be over at. Nobody else offered any other number up, so we're going to go with 25.
All right.
And that looks like it's going to be done at 22 after. Caitlin has a video on her channel about how to make better coffee at home, because coffee is science and it's super fun to learn about. And if you couldn't tell, I totally agree with that. I have been thinking about making fun caffeine-related videos for writers.
You should. I would so watch those.
Okay, maybe I'll start. I was gonna do it at the beginning of quarantine because I kept telling people that I worked from home, and they were like, "What do you do?" And I said, "I make myself coffee, and I work from home." That was it.
Yes, you should do like a series of like, like informational videos. I would love that.
Well, if any of you guys who are here have specific coffees you're curious about, let me know in the chat box. But I'm getting the impression that our crowd today is very coffee, like, knowledgeable. By the way, they're all talking about art forms and whatnot. Okay. Are you ready for a sprint? Is everyone else ready for a sprint?
I am ready.
Okay. It will now end at 23. I'm getting our little sprint guy started. And I will turn a banner on, and I'll see you lovely creatures in 25 minutes. This is my delicate alarm. It won't stop now. There we go. So that was the end of that sprint. You guys didn't get the opportunity to see Flurry threw a fit. He normally lays behind my laptop while I write, and there's books stacked up to put my laptop on. So he actually made me. He's right here. He made me move everything on my desk so he can sit next to my laptop since he doesn't fit behind my laptop.
Aww.
So a little ordeal, and he's mad the window's not open, but he doesn't understand it's dark out and he can't see anything.
Aww.
He's very playful. He loves all of you guys. But how did that sprint go for you, Brooke?
Oh, yeah. I'm not killing it right now. I got 284.
Or do we need to have a redemption day?
I don't know. We'll have to see, but... Oh, he's such a big boy. Oh my god, I love him.
He's actually 60% Mancoon, which was a surprise. So he's not overweight. He's just very tall and very muscular and long.
I love long-haired cats. They're my favorite.
I love him, but I don't like long-haired cats. Me and Nate agreed no long-haired cats because of the cat hair.
Yeah.
And 2 of the cats are long hair, and there's cat hair everywhere. But they're cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did about 560, which I'm excited about. I could have done better, but I had some cat ordeals that I was dealing with. But I think that's generally pretty okay. So
that's good. I'm impressed.
If you haven't had a chance to read it, I had asked people what their favorite scenes are to write and minutes ago. So if you haven't had a chance to answer, I'm gonna go back a little bit in the comments to some that I missed while you guys are putting in your answers. I'm losing my spot. Oh, I think this is sort of where we left off. Allie says she just loves lattes. I totally get that. I'm a big milk foam person. I don't know how you feel about milk foam.
I love lattes. I like everything. Lattes would be my favorite. I like cappuccinos though as well.
Yeah, something about the foam. I got a foamer you can get on Amazon. They're $20 that you just press a button and it's a little blender that froths.
I have one of those too. Does it kind of look like a kettle almost?
It's a cylinder.
Yeah.
Buttons on front. It's probably a similar thing. It has a hot setting and a cold setting, but I find that the cold setting doesn't work very well. But the hot setting is pretty magical. Huh. If anyone needs $20 latte maker from Amazon, that was pretty great. Lizzie had coffee for the first time and she has mixed feelings. It's definitely an acquired taste.
It is. Yeah.
I hated coffee most of my life.
I didn't like coffee when I was younger. When I was, I don't know if I started drinking coffee. I want to say in grade 11.
Bad. That's almost a whole adult.
Yeah. And I definitely didn't like it before that, but I put copious amounts of creamer in my coffee. I'm very partial to hazelnut creamer. I love it.
I have Oreo creamer right now, and I love it. Magical, yeah. I didn't like coffee until 2 years ago, and before that, it's if there was one drop of coffee in my drink, I was really sad. So I totally get that. Caitlin was a barista champion.
Oh gosh.
It was very exciting.
That's so cool.
Talked in the comments for a minute. She had some problems at her Starbucks where she said she felt like she wasn't treated well and that her management wasn't really good. And I think that's kind of common, honestly. You hear these, you can YouTube, if you're ever bored, you can YouTube Starbucks horror story, and it's usually baristas complaining about their experience.
I have watched some of those, actually. Yeah, they're not great.
I think I lucked out. I have a really good store. Everyone's really good. We hold each other accountable. Everyone's always in a really good mood. My management is really understanding and considerate, so I really think I lucked out. I worked at a store that's 10 minutes away from my store once. It was the worst experience of my life. So it was a whole show. People in the middle of their shifts, coworkers got into fights. I was so confused and I don't even work here, and you guys left me alone.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Kaylin said they were doing the ASU online program. That's another perk of Starbucks, and I'm sorry that it didn't work out in your particular instance, but they actually pay for your schooling. They reimburse you for tuition if you go to ASU. So
what's ASU?
University.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think. I was like, what state is that?
Arizona State University. I don't know a whole bunch of details about what they offer, but if you're thinking about going to school and you're in a tight spot, maybe you could struggle through Starbucks for a few years.
Yeah, I'm Canadian, so I don't know if they have that here.
Yeah, US and Canada is like grouped together. I think that's the only two places.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Usually our perks are US and Canada, but
Okay. I wonder what school it is here that they pay for.
I heard, and tell me if this is wrong, I heard that school in Canada is really cheap. I had some friends abroad who were complaining. They were complaining about how expensive their tuition is, and they were like, oh, I was like $8,000 this year, but my school is $22,000 a year. So I was...
You're in a master's program, aren't you?
No, that's the undergrad. Like my bachelor's degree at the time is it was $22,000 a year.
I think it depends on what you're doing and what school you're going to. My school, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't $22,000 a year.
I have friends who specifically moved to Canada for school just so it was cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, like international tuition is expensive. It's very, very expensive. But domestic is not bad. I mean, ours is course based though, so it depends on how many courses you're taking. You don't just have like a flat fee. So like, yeah, I mean.
Well, that's kind of neat. So if you take part time, like you pay a little bit less. Ours is like if you're more credits, it's one price.
That does not make any sense to me. Like I don't get that at all. Like
so the downside is you pay the same price, but the upside is if you have an open schedule, like I took 18 credits a semester and I didn't have to pay any extra for it. So it's sort of like
I guess. But I mean like lots of people cuz like I know here, so like I took we can't take 18. You have to get like special permission to take 18 a semester. 15 is our max. So like 5.
Sorry. 15 is our starting point. That's where start taking.
15 credit hours for us is considered 100% full time. And then you can take 3 courses. So that's like 9 credit hours, which is like 60% full time. But then anything less than that isn't. But yeah, no, like, I mean, a lot of people though, they won't take 5 because it's like, I guess, I don't know, depending on what program you're in, it's pretty intense. So
yeah, I get that. One class over the summer, it was Japanese class. It was one class. It went from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. We had an hour break for lunch, and it was 10 weeks, Monday through Friday.
Dude.
And that class was 10 credits. It was just 10 credits, but it was like you had
10 credits.
You had to sign a waiver saying that you understand that you probably shouldn't be working while you were in the class, and it was like a thing.
Oh, that's so crazy because we don't have that kind of thing. Like it's like you either take a 3 credit hour course, which is goes for 1 semester, or you take a 6 credit hour course, which spans over 2 semesters.
Okay, we had something similar. So our classes were so intensive, they were considered 5 credit hours, but it was like a 3 credit hour course. But because we met 7 times a week for an hour, they gave us like extra credits for it to make up for the time we were spending. But that class in particular was 2 semesters of that jammed into 10 weeks. And that's why they said, we'll just give you the 10 credits for 10 weeks.
Wow.
It was fun. Anyway, that was super digressing from writing, but education is also important.
Definitely.
Let's see what people are saying about their favorite scenes for writing. So Lizzie's favorite so far was a camp scene of the kids acting up and scenes where the love interest and protagonist and tracing shapes in the sand and guessing what they are. That's kind of cute.
That's cute.
It is really cute. I'm like a big relationship person, even when it's the subplot. I
Me
don't
too.
read a lot of romance, but I love romance and stories. Allie asked favorite scene overall or today, and then I said either or both. So if you guys have things that you want to share. Today she got to rewrite a scene that she's been trying to let breathe, and it was so much fun to write it today. I wish I could be like that, Allie. Allie, you're like goals for me. I literally just scrapped my whole book because I didn't think I could let it breathe enough. I felt that. But that's really exciting. She said overall for her whole book, it's a scene in the sequel. It's one of the confessions and emotions and a huge character moment. That sounds pretty intense.
Hmm.
And let's see, Lizzie got 416 words. Killing
Nice.
it. So I don't know how often, like, you guys in the comments and Brooke, but I tend to see a lot of the same people in live streams.
Oh, definitely.
And in the last 2 days, I have seen Lizzie succeeding so hard at your book, and that's so exciting to see. So everyone should go visit her channel and her page and encourage her, because she's obviously doing great things.
Mm-hmm.
Side note, she's doing great things in life. Lizzie joined another stream and got behind. You're supposed to be at the halfway through chapter 40. Like it totally contradicts what I just said. I still think you're doing great things. The ending of chapters are always my worst because I get so lazy with it.
Me too, actually. I've been struggling.
No, you go.
No, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like I need to read up a little bit more on how to end them. I was reading a great article the other day on like different like endings and beginnings to chapters, and like kind of the general categories of like this is how you can like start and end. Yeah, it was really interesting. But
so I read this in a book, and I actually don't remember if it was Save the Cat or not. So if it was, you'd probably be familiar with it. But they said that if you start a chapter in one emotion, you should end it in a different one. So if you start a chapter happy, then you should end it like sad to keep it.
Yeah.
I've seen another author tuber recommend, and I feel like this isn't talked about a lot, but making sure that there are questions in your chapters. Like every chapter should raise new questions or highlight new questions, and if you still have. I think that's sort of how I go about using, like, separating my chapters. I tend to write, go back through, and make a chapter break, and then adjust the beginning and end against the chapter break, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does.
I think it's like bad habits, though. I feel like I don't do my best organizing like that, but I feel like my chapters tend to be okay.
Yeah, I used to write like that. I used to kind of just like write, and then go back and like split. But now I kind of do the whole. I mean, especially since I'm plotting now, I find myself having like distinct chapters in my head.
Yeah, I think that was my goal. Like we were talking earlier about how we both were like discovery writers and we were moving into plotting. I had thought I needed to plot more, but then when I stepped back and said, you know what, I'm going to rewrite my first chapter and I'm going to get re-inspired. Now I don't know. It depends on, I guess, how well this goes if I start planning my chapters, but I'd like to try.
Yeah, for sure.
Bad at that. Allie says, I've been waiting to write it for 2 books. I really hope I don't have to cut it. There's another one at the first book, also emotional. It's a huge character scene. It seems to be a theme. That is patience. Waiting for 2 books to write a particular scene.
Yeah.
Well, I would just not cut it then. Honestly, as an editor, I could tell you that they might suggest that you can cut it, and you can just say, no, this is amazing, and you can keep it, which isn't always a good thing, but you know who your audience is. So if you really think that it's good for the story, then I would hold on to it for dear life.
Definitely.
Caitlin said, my favorite scene to write in my manuscript was a super sweet moment. My MC had a deep talk with her mom and a friend sitting on a branch high in the trees. The talking branch. That's kind of cute.
That's cute.
It makes me think of like a more intense version of like the talking stick where you pass it around and you get a talk. Yes. You have to be like flexible to get up in the tree to do that.
If you can't get up the tree, you don't get to talk.
You can't get in the tree, you have no opinions, and these are the rules.
Yeah.
Allie said, my grandma used to give me coffee when I was 3 or 4, decaf, put a little fancy glass with half and half and sugar. That is so cute.
That's adorable, actually.
I feel like my grandmother might have tried something similar, but I was really a coffee hater, so I was not a fan.
I always liked the smell of it, but then I would taste it and I would be like, ew.
Yeah. I feel like I always smell like coffee, but not like the good way. Like I went to the chiropractor, and this is so funny. I was like, they adjust you and then you lay on these cots, and it's a husband and wife that run this office. So she cracked me, and I was like laying on this like little cot, and he walks in and he's like, did you get coffee without me? And his wife was like, no, Maddie just came from work. And ever since then, like I think about that. Like I didn't.
That's actually so funny.
Yeah, it's like funny, but at the same time concerning. Like I just walk places not realizing I like.
I mean, it could be worse though. Like I know, like my sister used to work in like a kitchen, and she would always complain because she would come home and smell like French fries.
I don't even. So it's not me who has to deal with it.
That's true, but I mean, coffee's a great smell.
I guess I don't really have any opinions about it, which maybe I'm just around it too much. Canadians can also do the ASU online program.
Okay.
Awesome confirmation. I think my this is up too high. It's giving me like scary story flashlight vibes. Allie said her university was only $5,000 a year, but it was a state school. That is really awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to mine, I think.
I went to a community college, which was like between $2,000 and $3,000 a year before I switched over to university, which is why I took that incredibly hard 9-to-5 class, because I had missed a class being at community college.
Oh, okay.
And that was probably the best thing I ever did, because now like I'm in so much less debt, but it's just crazy the amount of schooling. Katie Ann stopped by. Hello, welcome to our live sprints. Allie says she always takes a chapter or a scene and looks at it as like a mini arc. What does the character want in it? What do they get? Where do they want to? I can't read. When they get what they want or not is when I end it. Or when I like that. I think I want to get there.
I wish I was like. I feel like I'm just not organized enough to see it like that. Like I am not there.
I don't think I was there at all, and I think I sort of had that in the back of my mind when I scrapped my old story, because the motivation changed and I felt like everything was wrong. And now that you have put it in words, Allie, I feel like that is why everything felt wrong, because I didn't have smaller arcs inside my bigger arcs. It really just felt like a mesh of words. But I like that. I'm all emotional about it. I like that. Usually write more than one point of view, so I tend to write all in one character and flip back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm learning the characters. So I also write more than one point of view, and I haven't started doing that, but I've seen a lot of people recommending that, and I really want to try it. It sounds like a really good way.
I'm struggling. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to write this book in 2 points of view or not, because I mean, like, a lot of romance is written like that, and I've never written in 2 points of view, so I'm like trying to decide. So I think I'm going to write all in her point of view first, and then once I'm done, I'll decide if like going back and, inserting his point of view would add anything. But
that can be a big change. In general, I would say like maybe don't wait till the end, because if you have like a specific book length you want, and then
I know
then you're gonna double it. So I mean, it is really scary and intimidating, but maybe just try like one scene in between a chapter, and then write a few chapters and go back and see if you like that scene, kind of thing.
Yeah, like I'm just like wondering how little of his point of view I could get away with, because I know there's certain parts where I would like to have it. And like, so I don't know. I'm just like, yeah.
You are the all-powerful author who's creating the story, and you can only include it when it benefits you. That's the great part about that. So you can have, I read a book once, and I don't remember what it was, so don't ask me. I don't even remember what it was about, but I remember liking the way that it was written, and the guy's point of view was once every 20 chapters. And the chapters were like 5-page chapters or so, but it would follow her, and you would get really invested in her, and then you would see his point of view, and you'd go, oh crap, that's what he's thinking, and it really added the suspense.
Okay, well, that's good to hear then, because like that's kind of, that's the vibe that I'm going for, kind of. Just like little insights here and there. So
as a reader, I really enjoyed that. So
okay, good to know.
Not that you have to listen to me, but that's my advice to everything: is flirt around with it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Caitlin said, Allie, that's really great advice. Allie's really wise. She has a YouTube channel and does sprints often. So if you really like sprints, I would click on her little icon and subscribe. She's pretty great. I was hoping it made sense. I work with the does it feel finished, and I try to quantify that in the comment. I think it's really hard to quantify does something feel finished.
Yeah.
So Allie also says, I like to end chapters with a big moment. Does it raise a question, a plot twist, a big reveal? If there's not a big moment, I can end a chapter. Weird rules for myself. I think it's good to have personal rules. It keeps your story consistent.
Yeah, 100%.
I think one of the biggest things they like teach us in school is you can get away with anything with like in editing school. They say you can get away with anything writing wise as long as you are internally consistent.
That's true. That makes a lot of sense. Wise words.
Weird magic systems, weird spellings. You can do literally whatever you want, but as long as you're internally consistent. People do like all my chapters are the same size. Some people do like how you said, like, does it feel finished? Is there a big moment kind of thing? Allie loves that, and I like that. We make it harder for ourselves as writers. I feel I've been adding so much extra stress for no reason. Allie's writing in 2 points of view, and I have a formal complaint. I only got a sneak preview of the one point of view, so I'm petitioning for the other one so I can see just as much. Caitlin said, I just had the realization to add a second point of view to my YA fantasy after 2 completed drafts. My plan is to write a new point of views chapters in between the current ones and try to go from there. I like that. I think I keep trying to scroll down and I keep pressing the wrong button. I think multi-point of view books are like taking over the YA industry.
That's funny. I have not read many YA books that are multi-point of view. Like, I mean, to be fair though, I haven't read many like new YA books. You know what? Okay, is Six of Crows YA or is it adult? It's YA.
I think it's YA, yeah. I think all of her books are YA except for Ninth House, which is very not YA, and I want to say King of Scars is the name of it, but all of Leigh Bardugo's other books are YA.
Okay. Yeah, I've only read Six of Crows, but yeah, okay, so that was in multi points of view.
Yeah, so. Sarah Moss writes in multi POV, so does Leigh Bardugo.
She does in some of them. A Court of Thorns and Roses, the first one wasn't multi point of view. I don't think.
Yeah.
Some of the later ones were, I believe.
Now you're making me doubt it. I know the last 2 definitely were because you see a lot of Rysand's point of view, but now I don't know if the first one was or not. I guess I assumed it was for consistency reasons. I have some that are all over Instagram, and I don't actually know if they're multi-point of view or not, but I have collected Caraval and A Curse So Dark and Lonely and stuff like that. But I guess, I don't know, like I feel like the last maybe 10 books that I've read were all multi-point of view.
Yeah.
Maybe
I really want to try out the Nevernight series. I've heard. Yeah. Have you read it?
No, I want to try it. I keep hearing really good things about it.
Me too. I mean, I've heard really good things, and I've also heard not great things too. But I mean, that's every book, so I don't really listen to negative reviews unless.
Yeah, it's one of those books that they have really strong. Either somebody's like, you have to read this. This is the most important book ever. I love it. Or somebody's like, I really hated it. Like, I haven't ever heard a middle of.
Yeah. And like, I think the reason that I'm kind of dismissive of like negative reviews is because I know that Sarah J. Maas's books are like have a lot of that, and like I freaking love them. Like
Funny story about her books. I found A Court of Thorns and Roses at a secondhand thrift store years ago for $2, and I bought it. And I never read it, and it sat on my shelf, and I never touched it. And whenever I went to Japan, I was really itching for English reads. I wanted something in English. I was like, I need a book, and I need it to be in English. And I just put it in the iTunes store, and I recognized the cover. So I was like, okay, I'm going to read this one because I know I have it at home, and I know I've never committed time to it. And I honestly read all 3 books in a week. And I don't think I read them on the train. I read them while I was walking. I read them in between classes because we had like 10-minute breaks. I was like so invested before I came home and realized she had such like a fan base war going on.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, so I was in like a 4-year reading slump during university. Like, I don't know if I finished a book during uni. And my friend, so when I graduated, I was working full time at the university, and my friend was like, hey, like, you should try out this book. So she lent me ACOTAR, and I was like, okay, yeah, like great, fantasy. I love fantasy. And so I started reading it, and I was like, oh my God, give me the next one. Like, just so.
I paid $10 a piece for each ebook, like one right after another, and I didn't even care. I need to know what happens.
Yeah, I'm currently reading through the Throne of Glass series. I've never read it before, so I'm on Empire of Storms right now.
I did not like Tower of Dawn, and it was okayly, like, there wasn't anything wrong with the writing craft or anything. What happened was the group split up, and I forgot and I didn't care about what was happening with those characters, and I was invested in what was happening with the current set of characters, and then she went back. And I was like, I'm not invested. I just want to know what happens next, kind of thing.
Yeah, like I find that as the series progresses, can't talk. There's like more and more point of view flipping. Like it's so frequent. But like Tower of Dawn, if I'm not mistaken, is focused on Chaol a lot. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I actually really love him, which is not a popular opinion.
I love him. I loved him when they were together, and I loved him when they split up. I don't want to do any spoilers, but he had a relationship with like a side character, and I don't like how he jumped into it because I was judging him, even though he's fictional. I was judging him for that decision. I was like, that seems so surface level, but also it seems like a realistic thing a person would do. So I wasn't.
That's not the chick whose dad is like the baker or whatever, right? Did this start in
Tower of Dawn, like in the beginning of it? He starts like a romantic fling with somebody.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I have not started Tower of Dawn,
but then by the end of the book, it just took me months to finish that book, which is unlike me. But by the end of that book, I was like, okay, they're happy and I love them, and they both found people that are great for them, and I was just in a better like.
Yeah, I was just so sad when I finally figured out. I was like, yeah, him and Aelin aren't ending up together. I was like, I'm so sad.
Yeah. I had a friend who actually said the reason she didn't like that series was because the love interest changed so much. Because normally in like YA books, it's like, here's my ride or die. Like this is from book 1 to the end. And like I got that, but I also felt like it was realistic. But then I looked at it and it does stand apart from the rest of the series for that like quality.
It does. I think it makes it interesting though, because you don't see that a lot. Like, I mean, it's very on point with the rest of her stuff because it's like
it makes sense. All the changes in the book tend to make sense, I think.
Have you read Crescent City?
No, so there's a reason I haven't read Crescent City. Me and a friend of mine bought tickets to the release event, which was supposed to be the first like couple days of March.
Oh my gosh.
We paid for signed copies of the book and merchandise, and we paid to go, and we bought like a hotel room and we were gonna drive there, and she canceled it. But she didn't cancel it. She like postponed it, so they wouldn't give me my money back right away. And then she also didn't send out the books that we paid for or the merchandise. She just canceled our things, refunded us, and told us we can buy books on like Amazon if we wanted, or her website. So I was so heartbroken about that I never went back and read the book. And I will eventually do that because I feel a little bit better about it now. It is a global pandemic, but I also feel like I would have purchased the merchandise I was expecting from the book, like online. Like she would have been like, here's the link, you can buy it separately, and I would have felt better about that than being like shrugged off, if that makes sense.
That's really not, that's crappy.
I was upset for like days. I'm like, I can't even get a refund. Our hotel was non-refundable. It was like I put so much money into just seeing her and listening to her talk about writing craft, and it like blew up in my face.
That sucks. Yeah, I would be too.
Crescent City, have you read it? Is it good?
Yeah, I did read it. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
The beginning is pretty info dumpy, but if you can get past that, it's amazing. Like I was okay. So this is like I haven't told anybody this, but I was buddy reading this book. It was not a book that I should have been buddy reading because I couldn't pace myself. I finished it like in the first, so like we would chat and then like set our next chapter goal. And I finished it and we were only supposed to be on like chapter 30 or 20 or something.
How many chapters are there?
Probably a lot. Yeah.
Last time I buddy read a book, the person didn't didn't read, and they consistently weren't reading, and then eventually they were like, I lost my copy of the book, and I haven't buddy read a book since then. It's been years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so like I finished like a week early or something, so I had to like pretend that I like didn't finish it. So I was like texting, and I would like go back and like read the chapter that we were supposed to be on.
Aww, that's so funny. Well, if you ever want to buddy read Nevernight, now that I know that,
oh my God.
Yes, we could do something like that.
We should. I would love that.
Comments real quick before we start another.
For sure. Sorry.
No, I don't want to neglect everybody who is conversing quality like in the comments. Let me try to find where we left off. So we talked about the ending with the big questions from Caitlin.
Yeah, right.
Allie's is multi-point of view. I remember complaining about that. Maybe I'm in the right spot. My advice with picking the point of view is to try to do little vignettes or short scenes in the other character's head to make sure you know their voice and their arc, and if it feels right, I like that. I always recommend trying something, even if it's like writing prompt based or something. I'm a big fan. You can always take things out. That is so true. Editing, most people go through several rounds of that. First person dual point of view is Lizzie's favorite. I go back and forth between whether or not I love first person or third person. Do you have a preference, Brooke?
I'm writing in first person right now. It's so funny. I used to only write in first person, past tense. And like I literally never would write in present tense. And right now I'm writing in first person present, which is like crazy. Like I'm writing this one, and my last novel was first person present. So what is your current work in progress in?
Mine is in third person, but I started it in third person, my like first draft that I have abandoned as of today. And then about 1,000 or so words in, I was like, you know what, this would be way better as first person. And I really felt like I could depict the story better as first person. And then at 22,000 words, I decided, you know what, I keep defaulting to third person. And I think that's just what is natural for me.
Yeah.
The third person. And it's been a train ride, but I think third person is probably what I'm going to stick with for the rest of this. Now that I'm starting over, I can definitely say it. Like I'm going to start and finish it in one point of view.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have like a preference though. I feel like that's what I was feeling for this story, but I think the next story might be something totally different.
Same.
Caitlin said, Katie Ann, don't be afraid to cut, but don't delete. Keep it in a different folder and possibly save for later.
Yes.
So even though I abandoned this project, I still have the Scrivener file, and I'd probably cry if I accidentally deleted it, just in case I salvaged something. But you know when you want to revert back to what you had last week. Like,
so true.
The infamous Dallas from Dallas Pen Pal Romance will have a 2 points of view. I just have to work on how the girl protagonist will be. Planning her story is kind of hard. Why is it hard? I'm very invested. Because sometimes, like, is it hard because you don't know how you want it to go, or is it hard because she's a difficult character to pin the voice of? Is my questions. Katie Ann said, oh, absolutely, I'm a chronic overwriter, so I always have many folders that are just because I've taken them out of the main draft. I get that. I tend to be an overwriter. Are you an over and underwriter, Brooke?
I don't know that I have enough like experience to say that. Like my last novel, my first draft was about like 70K or 75K, which was pretty much like on par with what I wanted. So what happened though in my last one was that I think I was trying to tell like 2 stories mashed into one book, and I needed to take out like a major part of it. So now it's just sitting. And but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm really either. I don't think I'm an underwriter though, especially not for this one that I'm currently writing.
I totally get that. I think I'm an overwriter, but the only reason I really think that is because I have to trim like fat out of my book, like little scenes of brainstorming or thinking. So I consider myself to be an overwriter more so because I know I have to go through and cut words that aren't necessary. But I don't know really if I go very far in either direction. Does that make sense?
I would be an overwriter in that sense too. I think I put a lot of unnecessary garbage in where it's like, yeah, they probably didn't really need to know that.
Or I tend to, especially when we're fast drafting and doing nano, I like brainstorm with like paragraphs. So I'll be like, okay, they're doing here, like they're here, and then I'll be like, okay, they're eating breakfast, she's getting ready, and then I go back and I'm like, you don't need to know any of that, and I cut like 2
Yes.
But I needed to know that to get to the next point, if that Caitlin, I'm sorry, says, Katie Ann, it feels like killing a part of yourself. I guess it's a form of hoarding.
Oh my gosh.
Book related.
I always say that. I always say it, I'm a word hoarder.
Yeah, a word hoarder. I like that. I keep touching the comments and shaking my camera, so if that happens, guys. Katie Ann says, "OMG, LOL." The only time I trust buddy reading is when my friend and we're just sitting in a room together and we read at the same time. So I have a friend from middle school actually, and we don't get the opportunity to hang out super often, but we made plans this fall to just pick a book and do that. She's gonna come over and we're gonna get comfortable. We're gonna get apple cider and like candles, and we're just gonna sit and read all
That's
night.
awesome.
I'm so looking forward to it. Lizzie writes in past tense. She tried writing in present tense and it felt like pulling teeth. I only focused on not adding ed at the end of the word. I feel like I went through that too with my current book. Katie says I'm an overwriter because I always write so much monologue and inner narrative. My first draft ended up being 156,000 words.
Whoa.
That's dedication.
Wild.
Caitlin feels like she's an overwriter, especially for NaNoWriMo. I will purposely draw out scenes or leave notes to myself in the draft just for word count. So I feel like I do that too, but not necessarily consciously. Like I think in the back of my mind, I'm thinking so hard I can like quit when I get to this many thousand words that I tend to beef up my drafts a little bit.
That's fair.
Lizzie said, I don't know how I want Alice's love interest to end up. She has a family and problems and is kind of antsy and edgy, but that's all I know. And I want her to have dyslexia, but I need to research that. Sometimes I feel like dyslexia, but I don't actually think I do. But I feel so, I don't know, overwhelmed sometimes when I'm trying to read things, especially out loud. So I'm curious of what you come up for research. She sounds like a very interesting character. And Lizzie is going to bed, so thanks for joining us. Katie Ann says, is it dedication or just insanity? It's dedication.
Yes, for sure.
I met a girl during NaNoWriMo season last year who was reading 200,000 word Harry Potter fan fiction. So she would agree with me that it is dedication. It is blood, sweat, tears.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, some of the later books are that big, which is why she picked that number.
True.
Pretty hefty. They're like, can defend your house with a copy of the 7.
Oh my gosh, especially a hardcover.
I seen this Instagram reel, totally side note before we start doing another sprint. Let me know sprint times in the comments if you guys have one that you are preferable to. But it was like the Instagram reel, they were saying like thick books that you can defend your house with. And it was just a long list of books that were like 700, 800, 900 pages. It was pretty great.
Kingdom of Ash.
Yeah, I honestly think that might have been on there. And Priory of the Orange Tree was on there, which I had never heard of. And then all of a sudden I am seeing everywhere. So I might
I've been seeing it everywhere for like the last couple months, I think. Maybe it hasn't been that long, but I've seen it everywhere, but I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah, me neither. I think I first seen it from Sarah LeBrat because she was reading it and she would like show it in her like streams and stuff, or not necessarily like her vlogs. And then after I seen the cover there, and I took note of it because I am a dragon fan and it has dragons in it. And then it was on my Instagram. Like it's like every day I'm like Priory of the Orange Tree, left and right. Oh, a lot of people are saying 25 again. Allie says 25, not exciting, but it's just long enough to get some work done. Katie seconds that. Are there any complaints against 25?
I have no complaints.
Allie's, there's 2. Katie first said, Samantha Sharon, author of The Priory of the Orange Tree, is an incredible writer. It is high fantasy dragon novel, and I love high fantasy and I love dragons, and I tend to like series and long stories. So I think I would really like it. It's more so dedicating a time where I finish the book I'm on and pick up that.
Oh, I know. I have like 3 books right now. Like I'm on my TBR for this month and it's just not happening.
I had originally made a goal to read 50 books this year, which I thought would be super realistic. And then I had a hard 2 months with school and both my jobs and stuff. And I am 10 books behind and I hated hearing that. But maybe that would be my books. It seems pretty long for that. Allie said, I've been wanting to read The Priory of the Orange Tree. Granted, I love large books, slightly ungainly books, hence half the reason I love reading Brandon Sanderson. Not read any of his books?
No. I have The Way of Kings sitting on my shelf. It's very large.
Yeah.
And it scares me. I have not started it.
I get The amazing things about him, and he does like talks and stuff on YouTube for like
Yes.
stuff if anyone's interested. It's another one of those things where I think if I am gonna start Brandon Sanderson, I think I'm gonna read a whole series at once. So
Totally.
I clear my TBR to do that. Katie says Priory is also WIW and diverse too. I'm sorry, I'm a noob. Can somebody explain to me what the acronym is?
Is that like not an I? Is that one of those like
slash or a line? You mean? I don't
like
know.
is it
Katie, enlighten us. My coworker recommended it to me. It's on my TBR. Allie says Stormlight is so good. Caitlin says she's read the third Mistborn novel and started that series a year ago. Oh, she still has to read the third Mistborn novel. Does that mean that it's not super suspenseful? I need to know before I get invested, because if I'm going to start with Brandon Sanderson, I want to start at the better end. Allie said that she'd start with Mistborn, Warbreaker, and Elantris.
so
I hear Mistborn the most, title-wise.
yeah, I was like looking up like where to start, and like somebody said the Way of Kings is fine. Like, isn't that the start of the Stormlight? Or I thought that was the start. Did I like buy the wrong one?
My theory, I think that it's sort of like movies franchises, like the Marvel movies, where not a lot of them are related, but everyone has an opinion of what you should read them in. So I feel like I have seen whole videos that are dedicated to like the order you should read Brandon Sanderson novels.
I have to, yeah. I am of the strong opinion with the Marvel movies that you should watch them in the order they came out.
I would assume that like they would intend you to watch them in that order since that's the order they made them, but a lot of people have different things. Allie sobbed at the third Mistborn novel. I think.
Goodness.
Oh, the second one's definitely a middle book. Well, that's not a compliment.
Doesn't sound like a compliment.
She said it's worth it in the end, though. Caitlin said Mistborn is good, but I needed a break from Tombs, and I needed to read I needed a few quick reads in between. I had that problem with Tower of Dawn, is I was going through those books, and they're not small, but they're not huge, and I think I just needed a break, and I think that's why it took me so long. Warbreaker is a good place to start because it's a standalone book in the same universe. Using it as a primer, I like that connection.
Okay.
Allie said it's all intertwined, but you don't have somewhere you have to start. That gives me one of those vibes where everyone has a different recommendation. I trust Allie, so I'm biased, but I would probably go with what she recommended. Okay, we're gonna start a 25-minute sprint. While we are sprinting, think about your favorite part of your story or your favorite characters of your story, and I think that's what we can start talking about next when we're comparing word counts and whatnot. I like hearing a lot about your guys' stories because that's sort of why I joined YouTube, was to make connections with other writers. So I want to hear about your favorite characters, whether it's to write or to read. And this sprint will end. What time is it? I'm like looking for a clock. At 32, yeah, 10:32. So I will see you guys at 10:32. Okay, guys, that is the end of our last writing sprint. It flew by too quickly. I didn't get a whole lot of words done, but I did reach 4,360 words for the whole day. Definitely not in the last 25 minutes. That's impossible. But I got there for the whole day, and I was really excited. And Brooke, we're actually talking about and planning more live streams in the future. So if you guys had fun here, I know we had some book talk take over the stream, but if you had fun and you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and like this video, and also head over to Brooke's channel and subscribe and like our live stream from earlier, because we did one over at her channel. All right, how did you do, Brooke? Any last thoughts or opinions, or how's your day looking?
I got 412 that sprint, so it was a lot better. So my total word count for the day is 3,434, and I think that's going to be it for today.
It's past Brooke's bedtime, and we kept her up really late.
It is. My bedtime is in like half an hour. It's so weird because I slept in this morning too. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's the weather, I think. We've been having weird weather.
I thought I was tired all day today, and I thought it was because I was sitting at my computer trying to be creative, and my brain is tired. So maybe that's
fair
to do with it. I forgot again, and this is like the 10th time I forgot today that you're an hour behind me. So I was thinking you had told me you go to bed at 10. So I'm sitting here like, man, she's like up really late.
No.
Perfect.
No, I promised my boyfriend that we would watch an episode of something before we went to bed. So
What show are you watching? Anything exciting?
So we're actually watching Pretty Little Liars right now.
I was obsessed with that show for a really long time. I think it came out when I was in high school, but I never watched the last couple seasons. Does it stay good? Did you get there?
Same. I don't know. I haven't watched the last couple either. I think I ended on the second last one. So it got too crazy after a while. I think there's 7 or 8 seasons.
I was like really invested, but it felt like one of those stories where like every season felt like a similar drama, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I feel like it just needed to end. Like it should have ended earlier than it did. And I don't remember if I ever figured out who A was. So I'm like, I'm invested right now. I actually
really
love it.
But I don't.
No, oh my gosh.
My laughter for a minute.
I just like don't even care anymore. Like I used to be so self-conscious on streams, and now I just like do the stupidest stuff. Like I like eat on streams.
Next week I wanted to do a stream with good writer snacks if anyone's interested. I haven't really scheduled a day for that, but if anyone your snack stream, I'm a fan. I'm flirting with more streams because everyone on Instagram was like, you should do more vlogs and streams.
Totally.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I love streams. I am like addicted to streaming.
I need to do it more because it's just better exposure. Like I've met some people, and like I got a notification. And thank you for subscribing or following my Instagram. I was so excited. I seen that and I was like, I know them.
Oh, I
feel
love
like it's
that.
Meet people. And I put her comment on the screen. She got 432 of character profiles. 432 is a very satisfying 432 number.
That is. I agree.
Katie Ann would love a snack stream. I would share it on the screen, but StreamYard's being really slow again. But I can see it on YouTube.
Yes, snack streams. I love food. I love food. We got into a heated discussion on one of my streams about poutine.
I've never had it, but I heard magical things. I tried it for the first time in Japan, but all my Canadian friends said that it was not actually poutine, so.
I would assume it's probably different, but I mean like, oh yeah, okay, so this is really random, but what kind of ended up from this heated discussion of poutine? Somebody was saying that they like tacos, and we were like comparing tacos and poutine, and I was like, somebody was like, you should make poutine tacos. So tomorrow I'm going to vlog making poutine tacos.
I am very interested in that. I love tacos. I can understand what poutine is. Laura asked what my Instagram was, so I just typed it up and threw it on the screen. Brooke is yours. Brook's right to match your channel.
Yeah, it's Brook _Writes, I believe.
Okay. If you type it up, I can put that on the screen too. Katie Ann said, I'm gonna binge watch your videos tonight. Probably I've gotten so addicted to streams and just started streaming and I feel so productive on them. I love that, and not because you said you were gonna be on my channel. I feel like so love streams. I had tried really hard to do like informative videos where you sit down and you talk about one topic. But then I took a poll on Instagram and everyone was like, well, sometimes I want to watch the informative videos, but sometimes I don't care. So I tend to just watch all the vlogs.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just typing my Instagram in the chat here.
No, you're totally fine. Laura John said I can't picture poutine tacos, and I can't either, which is why I'll be watching this video.
So here's the logistics of this. So you get the taco shell, you make gravy, you cook fries, and you put fries in the taco shell, pour gravy on it, put some cheese on there. Oh.
That doesn't sound bad. Like,
yeah, no, that was a good, oh.
Putting taco meat on it too, because it almost sounds like taco meat and fries and gravy would be good.
So you could do that. Like they have different kind of poutines where you can do like ground beef. You could do like a taco poutine, which is like ground beef, sour cream, green onions, all that good stuff. You could do pulled pork poutine. I think we're just gonna do. We don't have any ground beef right now, so I think we're just gonna do like the traditional poutine. But
that is so exciting. I put everything on the screen if anyone hasn't seen that. Katie Ann said, yes, poutine tacos. I remember that discussion. That is very exciting. And then Caitlin said, everyone just sharing pictures of their snacks would be really entertaining. People could DM you their pictures and you could share. And I kind of love it. So we'd have to do a little bit of marketing so that people were like ready to do that. But that
totally.
Maybe we can guilt Brooke into participating.
I would participate. I love food like so much.
Same. Caitlin said there's a restaurant near me that makes poutine with sweet waffle fry or sweet potato waffle fries.
I love sweet potato fries.
Sweet waffles. I love sweet potatoes and everything, whether they're fries or like shredded up or they're just
same.
Okay, well, I don't want to keep Brooke too much longer because she has very important things to be doing tonight. And I have a lot more words to write. So we're doing this collaborative 10K. If you didn't know, make sure you're subscribed to both of our channels so that you can watch the vlogs for that. But if her end count was 3,434, which she said, I wrote down on a little post-it note. I have it. I keep showing things off screen over to
me too. I keep like waving off screen with this hand.
But I'm going to try to do the remaining like 6,000 and
I'm so sorry. I'm like copping out at like 35.
Don't. I almost was like, maybe this is just gonna be a failed experiment, but honestly, I feel more awake now. This is my problem with night times. It is 10 o'clock. I feel very awake. I feel very in the mood of writing, even though I was dragging myself through from 4 to like 8. I had like no idea what was going on and I was so tired, but I'm in the mood.
Okay.
I was trying to share. Katie Ann said, thank you so much for the streams today, and thank you for coming. StreamYard is live again, but I am acknowledging your comment, and it means a lot to me. But yeah, I am going to let Brooke give you any information she wants to give you about her channel before we log off.
Yeah, so like I said before, I have a AuthorTube channel here on YouTube. I guess I don't know where else I would have it, but I do vlogs. I do vlogs every Thursday, and I do random other videos every Monday, and I stream every Saturday morning. Next weekend, I'll be streaming with Autumn Ashley on my channel at 10 a.m. on Saturday, so if you want to come check that out, go ahead and subscribe to my channel.
Yes, and make sure you remember to give this a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on Monday. That's my normal posting day. If you are not familiar with my channel, maybe you stumbled in. I post videos on Monday, but I'm trying to get in the habit of posting vlogs and live streams more often. So if there's anything you want to see or any day that you want to see videos, make sure you let me know. I'm not as organized as Brooke. I'm very She's goals right now for my organization.
It's a lie.
I want to make videos in the days that you guys feel like you need more AuthorTube videos. All right, and with that, good night, everybody. Have a productive evening and have great writing for the rest of the weekend.